Well, we're obviously just 3 days away from the SEC meet here on Friday, so we're gearing up for that. We'll head out tomorrow afternoon, run the course for practice on Thursday, get a feel for that. That'll be our first exposure to the Texas A&M course, which is a new one that they've custom built for major cross-country events. So we're excited to see that, but it'll definitely be a new course for us. I believe they opened it up just last year for the first time. It's supposed to be pretty flat and fast, but they've had quite a bit of rain there in the last few days, and there is a chance of rain and even potentially thunderstorms on Friday. So that kind of adds a little bit of an air of excitement and uncertainty in terms of the facility situation and everything else. But cross country is all about dealing with the conditions, and whatever the conditions are, obviously we'll deal with them. But we want to make sure we get a chance to review the course on Friday, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that the weather doesn't significantly impact the competition We'll review the course on Thursday and hope that the weather doesn't significantly impact the actual competition on Friday.
Now, when you go to review the course, so what are you looking for as far as from a coaching perspective? What are you looking for to try and help the team be best prepared to go out there and race on Friday?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. I mean, one of the things I always look at is to build a mental picture of the course so that there aren't any surprises. So we'll actually run the course, but then we'll kind of stand there and do kind of a brief visualization where we kind of walk through the course in our mind. Okay, this is around about what it looks at the mile mark. This is where the hills are. I think the consciousness of the start and kind of what issues might be involved in the start are very important. Then as we move through the course, are there any particularly tricky footing areas where it might be muddy, it might be wet? Are there any hills that really change the dynamic of the course or change the flow of the race? But as much as anything, it's about building the athlete's comfort zone so that there aren't any big surprises for them. So as the race develops, they're like, oh, this is what Coach talked about. This is what I should expect at this point in time in the competition. From what I hear about the Texas A&M course, it's relatively flat with a couple of short, steep hills in it. So just kind of being conscious of, okay, those are going to have a little bit of an impact on my rhythm, but then I got to get back down to business. But there's not really a hill on it that has a name on it where it's going to really change the scope or nature of the competition.
Now, how much do you think, with the rain in the area so often for the past week, I think, for LSU, Texas A&M, that kind of part of the South, how much does running on a course like Weston Lake, where it's soft sand climbs and kind of tricky terrain, how does that kind of help prepare you, not just mentally, but also physically, to kind of handle some rougher...
Well, I think not just our home course, but the nature of where we practice every day, practicing on the grass, practicing on the dirt, there really isn't a surface that we haven't dealt with. I mean, and we're not uncomfortable with it as much as anything else. I think if you do all of your running on the road and you do all your running on the track and then you go out and try and run cross country, I think you're a little bit more prone to certain types of injuries. And I also think that you're not used to the breaks in rhythm, to kind of having to start and restart every now and then, to getting a little bit thrown off balance. So all in all, it is about practicing to be uncomfortable.
Now, let's break down the actual runners themselves. Mary Reiser has been kind of your number one all season, number one with a bullet, really, with her times that she's been putting up. You've had a lot of different runners coming in at number 2 and number 3 for you. Do you like the fact that you have a lot of different options for those 2 and 3, or is it kind of something where you'd like to have kind of those top 3 to 5 already set in stone when you come in?
I feel like Mary's having a career season in that she has moved a step beyond where she was 2 years ago when she was all SEC freshman, and she just missed making the all-region team in cross country. She's twice run below the PRs that she set that season at both Lehigh and the national previews, so she's performing at a very nice level. Traditionally, she's done extremely well in championships, so I'm looking for her to raise her game again and be in the hunt for a top 25 spot at both the SEC and the regional, and that's really kind of what we're looking for out of her. You're right, we've had a cast of characters really from 2 through 8, and who our number 2 is or number 5 is in any given day can be very, very, very different. Certainly the folks that have run the fastest times If they could go out and duplicate those at the conference meet, that would put us in a solid position, and I'd certainly like to see that. But even so, it really doesn't matter per se who our number 2 or number 3 or number 4 is. It's more a matter of us being able to line up a good, solid, deep crew and be able to give our 2, 3, and 4 the opportunity to kind of go out on the edge a little bit, and know that they're going to get backed up at 4 and 5 and 6, and that we're still going to have a solid performance if it doesn't happen for them on a particular day.
And you've had all season long a lot of younger runners step up and hit their PRs. It seems like every weekend you're having new PRs. Who do you think can be kind of your breakthrough, a dark horse candidate to do well in this kind of a race?
I hesitate to single out any individual at this point, because I think part of it is it could be any one of 8 people that makes a big breakthrough, really any one of 12 people that we're lining up that makes a big breakthrough this weekend. And I think not having the pressure of that expectation could be as helpful as anything else, just kind of being able to come out of the woodwork a little bit. Last year we had a situation where we had a young lady who was actually our alternate for the conference meet that we, due to an injury, we wound up lining up, and then she wound up being a top 5 performer for us at the conference meet. So I think the surprise could come out really anywhere out of the 12. I think the biggest issue is how many people do we put in the low 22s to 21s to back Mary up. And what I'm stressing is that to our team is we've got a lot of people capable of performing at that level, and I'd be just as happy for it to be 5 people as opposed to 2 or 3 people.
All right. Thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.